Hello! Welcome to another weekly chill out. When I put the package together, I kind of had in mind that you guys would do these on the weekends, but very much do it whenever you fancy. If you like the sequence, then repeat it as many times as you want as well. Today I've got a flow to restore class for you. If you're not too in the mood for flow, then just go straight to the last sort of 20 minutes, which will be the restore. So if that's you, absolutely go there and enjoy. Do stay for an extra minute while we ground down though. For the sequence, you're going to want blocks or books, some sturdy books, a bolster or a big sofa cushion, and probably a blanket. It's winter, isn't it? So the more blankets, the merrier. If you don't have a mat, a towel, just a clean area of floor, it's all good. So those of you that might be disappearing to do the restorative last section, do stay with us just to ground down together. So I welcome you to find a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. To grow tall to the crown of your head. To roll the shoulders back and let them travel down the back body. And we'll take a releasing breath here. Through the nose, send the breath down to the belly. Open the mouth, let it go. One more time, breathing in. And release. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And just observe that for a moment, that spontaneous breath, that life force. And notice the you that has arrived today. How you're feeling in this space. And welcome all those parts of yourself. No judgment here. And then when you're ready, fluttering open the eyes. And we will begin. So I've got a nice little sequence today. We'll get started in all fours. As I mentioned, if you do want to go straight to the restorative, then no judgment, it will be the last section. So those of you joining me for flow, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we're going to do a couple of cat-cow. So inhaling, dropping the navel, shine the heart forwards, lift the head, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, push the earth away, vertebra by vertebra, lifting to the ceiling. Inhale, head lifts, heart shines. Exhale, round. A couple more at the rates of your own breath. I do apologise if the sound is a little bit in and out. I've not yet got a microphone, so I keep turning my head to the camera. Hopefully it's clear enough for you. We're going to drop down into a child's pose, so you can go wide or narrow-legged, your choice. And then we're going to take the hands, walking them over to the right, breathing into the left side body. And then taking the hands the other way, breathing into the right side body. Coming back to center. Let your forehead ground down here. Maybe a block helps bring the earth a little closer to you. Know that this is a lovely resting posture, if ever you need it, through our little sequence today. I'm just going to explain our next transition. So we're going to move with the breath from our child's pose. We're going to inhale back to our all fours and then extend opposite arm, opposite leg. So getting a little bit of core engagement going. And exhale, coming back to our child's pose. So you can do it along with me. We're going to inhale, opposite arm, opposite leg, thinking of reaching wall to wall rather than lifting too high. Exhale as you drop back. Inhale, coming up. Doing about 3 in total each way. Exhale, drop back. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, dropping back. Let your breath lead. So if my cues are a little out of time with your breath, stick to what is true in your body. We'll all meet together once we've evened up both sides. So once you've done roughly 3 each way, we're going to bring ourselves up, tuck the toes under, push the bottom high, coming into a downward facing dog. And I'm just going to take that opportunity to take off my extra layers. So while you explore your downward facing dog, do what you need to do to arrive in that position. Perhaps you want a little wiggle through the feet, through the heels, walking the dog out. Just a couple more breaths here. Strong, stable in the foundations, using the strength, the solidness of the earth to really push the earth away, helping us find that lift in the shape. Exhale, gaze between the hands, and then you can slowly walk your way to the top of the mat. Find a ragdoll here so you can come into a nice big forward fold. Knees are as bent as feels good. Taking hold of opposite hands and maybe a little sway. And then letting go the interlaced arms and slowly roll your way all the way to standing. Ta-da! Mountain pose. We're going to take a few half sun salutations before taking a few full. So set yourself up. Samastiti, proprietary pose. Fingertips reaching down to the earth, slightly tucking the chin in. Whole body is alive. Inhale, trace the outline of the sun. Exhale, hinge at the hips, gesture forward. Knees can be as bent as feels good while we warm up. Inhale, lift and lengthen, create space through the back body. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, rolling vertebra by vertebra back up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands through heart center. 2 more times, just the same. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hinge, diving down. That breath in to make space. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, slowly traveling back up. Hands coming down through heart center. 1 more time. Breathing in. Diving down. Making some space. Letting it go. And then inhale, roll your way all the way back up. Hands coming through heart center. And into our yummy little sequence. So as before, hands coming overhead, breathe in. Hinge at the hips, lower belly draws in, diving down. Create space. And then step back to plank. We'll take an extra breath here. You can go knees down if you prefer. Strong and stable through the foundations. And then all together, lowering the knees, coming to meet the floor. And finding a little inhale to a baby cobra or a cobra. As you exhale, tuck the toes underneath, push yourself all the way through downward facing dog. Again, taking a few breaths to explore here, setting yourself up in your comfortable variation. We'll be here for a few breaths, so thinking 1, pushing the earth away, 2, creating lift to the tailbone, 3, the lengthened spine isn't compromised. You can have the knees as bent as they need, that you can keep the spine long. And then as you exhale, gaze between the hands. Inhale steps you forward into that space, roomy back body. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, roll yourself all the way up. Exhale through heart center. 2 more the same, but you can flow if you don't want to come down to the floor. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, gesture down. Create space. Plant the palms, step or jump back. Flow through your vinyasa. So you could come down to chaturanga, shoulders away from the ears. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. If that feels a little too strong for anyone while we're in this wintering period, which I very much don't want to be making anyone too strenuous, then another really nice transition there is to just do it through all 4s instead of plank. The inhale through cat and cow, and then meeting in a down dog. We're going to gaze between the hands, and with an inhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, release. Inhale, slowly rise all the way up, hands overhead, and exhale through heart center. Really nice. 1 more time the same. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, diving down. Creating space and moving through your flow, your vinyasa. Keeping strong, stable through the shoulders. And meeting in that downward facing dog. Let the breath be free here. We'll take a few breaths. Keeping them strong, steady. Keeping the exhale full and free. Gaze between the hands and inhale as you step forward and create some space. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, squeeze the glutes. Rise all the way back up. Hands through heart center. We'll move into our sequence from here. So you can stay facing the screen if that's easier to follow along, or just go by my voice. We're going to take a nice wide stance into our Prasarita, Padottanasana. So we're going to go edges of the feet in line with the short edge of the mat. And bring the big toes ever so slightly in, giving a little more space to the outside of the legs. Inhale, grow tall to the crown of your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Gesture forwards, maybe come to the hands. Maybe if you have your block nearby, this can be a nice place to reach for. Or if you're super open and your head wants to meet the floor, then welcome it there. Take an extra breath. I'm going to take a few nice spinal twists. So plant the left hand down or to your block underneath the head. Inhale as you push the earth away, drawing a bow and arrow with the right arm. Rotate all the way to the heavens, one long line, palm of the left hand to the tips of the right fingers. Exhale as you come back down, and the breath in switches sides. Exhale, switching again. Reaching up as you breathe in. Exhale, we'll just do one more to the left. Breathing in, reach. Feel that dual motion, earth to heavens. Exhale, let it go. Okay, I'm going to talk you through the transition. This is where the blocks are super yummy. We're going to face the front leg. For me, it's the left. Doesn't matter too much as long as we do it the other way around. Next time, we're going to turn to face front leg, left leg, stay with me, and then it's easier to get my left and rights because you know I'm a bit dyspraxic. So I'm going to turn the left leg to the short edge of the mat, so toes facing forwards. Getting my blocks, I'm going to frame it, and then I'm stepping the back leg. Always want to say hind leg because I'm used to horsed. Back leg slightly in, so shortening the stance and widening it so I can square off my hips. Hips in line with the short edge of the mat now. Resting on my blocks, you can add more blocks if this is too intense on the hamstring. Pushing weight into the outside edge of my back foot so that that leg is helping me stand, takes the pressure out of this hamstring. We're going to use that lovely magic breath to undulate here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Only coming down as much as is comfy, no forcing here. Maybe comfy being the wrong word, but you know, what feels okay in your body. One more breath, undulation. Exhale, let it go. You can move the blocks aside, but keep them close by. We're going to want them again. Bend into the front leg. I'm getting barked at by a dog. Bend into the front leg. Drop the back knee down. Low lunge. Rise up. Pad under the knee as you need. Imagine you've got a bowl of apples, a bowl of fruit in the pelvis, and you want to tip them out the back. So drawing the pubic bone up, engaging the core. And then sink a little into the lunge, but you'll feel you have less space when you look after the lumbar spine like that. So hopefully both glutes feeling a little active. Hands can be to heart center. Inhale here, and with the next breath out, pushing the bottom to the back, lifting the toes, finding your half split, and maybe locating your blocks again. In your half split, that leg's toes, left leg, front leg, is staying awake, toes pointing to the ceiling. We're going to do those undulations with the breath again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dropping down. Whole time we're still pushing the bottom to the back of the room and lifting the toes. Exhale, dropping down. Breathing in and letting it go. One more time. Exhale, you can get rid of the blocks if you want. And then from here we're going to keep bending all the way into the back leg. So we're going to sit down, plonk ourselves down. So the left leg's in front, and we're going to just bring the right leg through. So sole of the foot against the left thigh, and then I'm going to open it out about a foot so we can come into a baby wild thing. So I'll look at you so it's a little bit easier. Right hand coming behind that right bent leg, pushing into the shin, pushing the heart and the hips up, coming into a little back bend here. Can be nice and expressive. Let that left arm fall behind you. With your next exhale, sitting down, taking a moment, we'll do one more breath in that transition. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, coming back down. Then let the Sole of the foot, come against the thigh one more time. We'll come into a forward fold here. So inhale, grow tall to the crown of the head. Exhale, hinging but keeping the spine long. So maybe a millimetre or two is enough. When we really try to keep the spine lengthened, it's quite intense. Maybe you're super open, flat against the leg, yogi's choice. You do you, but just feeling it, looking after your posture as you go. Couple of yummy breaths here. And then we're going to work the upper body tall again. Cross over the legs and come over the feet. Find your plank. Flow through a vinyasa or skip it if you wish. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here, feeling possibly the difference one side of the body to the other from that little sequence so far. Making your journey with a breath in to the top of the mat. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, rising all the way up. Hands through heart center. So we're going to do the same thing the other way. So I'm going to end up facing the back of my mat to balance it out. So I'm bringing the blocks with me just to set myself up over here. Coming into your wide leg forward fold once again, your prasarita position. This time, hands at the hips. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, gesture down, forward fold. I'm going to rise up, so squeeze the glutes, softly bend the knees, helping you get that action. Hands coming behind you this time, interlace the hands, grow tall, and exhale, forward fold. Thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades together here, giving a bit more space. Exhale, releasing the hands with control so they don't ping, nice and gentle through all those ligaments of the shoulder. Take your upper body over to the left leg, give it a nice big hug, send it some love, maybe even a little kiss to the knee. Open through that right side body and then bring it over to the right leg this time. That lovely hug, maybe a little kiss. And let it go, coming back to center. A little wiggle through the hips perhaps, evening out through the lumbar spine. We're going to take that journey to triangle on the right leg. So for me it's going to face me to the back of the mat. No stress, we're always going to come back. No one's getting lost. So I'm turning the toes to face the back of the mat. And I'm stepping the back foot in and to the outside slightly, making it easier to square through my hips, pushing away into the outside edge of that back foot. So both legs active here. Locating my blocks and inhaling, beginning that undulation with the breath again. Exhale, release. The breath in lifts you up, find space. The exhale drops you lower. Inhale, find space. Exhale, lower. One more time. Maybe getting rid of your blocks for a breath. And then making that transition into a low lunge. So bend both knees, back knee drops down. Pad the knee as you wish, making sure it's comfortable and supported. Same thing, tipping your bowl of fruit out the back, pubic bone drops in. Drops in, draws in. And then let yourself sink a little more with the glutes engaged into your low lunge. One more breath here. And with the next exhale, bottom pushing back, toes lifting, locating your blocks again, and taking those undulations in your half split. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop into the space that you've maybe created here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. And then staying low, maybe getting rid of your blocks. Thinking about that next transition where we sit down. So right leg staying out long, left leg coming in alongside, opening it out a little more so we can come into that baby wild thing. So I'm going to push into the shins, push into the left hand, lift the hips, lift the heart, let that right hand drop behind me. Really nice expressive posture. With your next exhale, journeying back down, we're going to do one more breath in the pose. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, let it go. And then taking the sole of the left foot alongside the right thigh, growing tall to the crown of the head with an inhale, and your exhale brings you forward. So working into a forward fold with the crown reaching long, helping find length through the spine. With your next inhale, rolling up, I'm going to swivel myself so I'm facing the top of the mat again, and we're just going to, and it doesn't matter if you're facing back or front really, we're going to roll back, give our spine, our lower back, a little massage. So knees coming in and taking them in a few circles each way. Maybe you take both knees together. Maybe they go out opposite ways. Yogi's choice. Feeling that little massage through the lumbar spine. And we're going to set ourselves up now to come into our restorative part of the sequence. So I am going to add a jumper, getting cozy, cooling down. We're going to start with a legs lifted pose. So you can do this with your block or bolster or folded up blanket underneath your sacrum. If having any prop underneath doesn't feel good for you, then go without. You could simply be legs lifted here. I'm going to go, my weapon of choice is a bolster. And if, as we go through these restorative poses, any don't feel restorative for you, just find an alternative place that you can truly hang out. So maybe it's just laying on your side, maybe a child's pose or a happy baby. If any are making any part of your body not feel like it's able to melt and restore and relax, then find another pose that works for you, or come into an early Shavasana when we really want all the muscles to feel like they're having a break in these postures. Like the body is hanging on the bones and none of the muscles are doing any work. And with your hands in this pose, in this posture, you can let them splay out to the side, finding openness through the shoulder. Maybe you want to send some love and TLC into the body. Maybe that's the heart space or the belly. Your choice, your practice. Making it feel nourishing and supportive. Just going to be here for about 1 more minute. Letting your body really drop into safety now. A bit of activity, the flow is done. Now is the time to really bring the rest to the front, the forefront of the practice. Letting those exhales grow longer and longer with every breath. And then from here, if you went with having a prop underneath you, you're already set up to simply drop the legs down and find your restorative bridge. So we want the feet hip width apart, facing the top of the mat, facing long ways on the mat if you're the other way around. The knees staying in line with the feet and the hips. And same thing, the sacrum is lifted. You could change to a block if the bolster's too much, or a blanket. Hands can be open, resting softly on the body. Be mindful your knees don't fall out to the sides, don't open. Puts a bit too much pressure on your lower back, keeping them in line with the toes. And then welcoming yourself in your expression of the posture with the breath. Nothing to do, nothing to achieve in your restorative sequence. Can you let your body sink a little heavier into the earth? Can you strengthen your awareness of the meeting points between your body and the floor? How it always comes up to support us. Just into our last minute here. Thinking if you could give and release. If you could let go any more to the posture, to the practice. What that might feel like for you. And that doesn't need to be physical. A couple more yummy breaths here. And then thinking about how you're going to unravel, how you're going to transition out of the pose. So I like to lift the pubic bone, push the earth away at my feet, bring myself off the bolster, roll it away. And take a moment to just appreciate all those sensations cultivated. Really moving the flow of blood, having the legs up high for a while, and then it's quite a change of sensation through the spine, coming back to the earth after that bridge. So just absorbing all those feels, safety to feel them, safety to let it go, to leave it behind. And we're going to rock and roll ourselves, coming up to a seated position. And I've landed quite nicely here, ready for our next pose. We're going to come into a forward fold. So this is one of my favourite options, letting the back round, supporting under the hamstrings, under the knees with the bolster. It's a really nice place to be. You can also bring in a block or two to give you somewhere to rest the head. So if you're happy there, stay there. I'll just talk through a couple more options for our forward fold. You could equally have the bolster on top of you and maybe the blocks also to give your head somewhere to rest. Some people like a bolster hug. This is also really yummy. And if your hips are wanting more of an opening, you could go for a straddle forward fold. You could bring the earth up to you with your combination of props. So yogi's choice. Figure out where you want to be today. Maybe each time you come back to this practice, it's somewhere a little different, and that's the beauty of the practice. Welcome yourself into the posture with your breath. Those long, steady breaths. So the lengthening of the exhales is bringing the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest side of the nervous system, as opposed to fight and flight. Those long, lengthened exhales are getting us into that state, making that be the more dominant state of the nervous system. While we do these mindful, chilled out practices, notice all the meeting points between your body and the floor. And perhaps try to welcome a little visualization. Every exhale, thinking of your tensions, your stresses, thinking of them releasing and letting go, diffusing into the earth. Just into our last 30 seconds or so here. Letting those breaths be full, be free, be nourishing. And then steadily, when you're ready, coming away from the posture. So I'm just going to add a sock, dropping in temperature in here. So just a couple more poses before that lovely long Shavasana we'll have. we're going to go from a reclining tree pose into a spinal twist. So I'll just explain so that once you're laying down, you don't need to look up again. We will go right leg first. So I'd be fully laid down, but I'm going to go left leg long, same position we were in before. The sole of the right foot is in line with the thigh, is touching the thigh. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to have a block ready, because it can be really nice to have a block under the thigh or under the knee. We'll be here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to draw the knee in and across into a spinal twist, and then we'll do the other side. So hopefully that makes sense enough. You can make sure you're blanketed, jumpered, cozied up, and then we'll get on into that. So right leg first is bent and in a reclining tree pose. You can also feel really grounding here if you have it nearby, to pop your bolster over you, adding some weight into the pose can feel really grounding. So the breaths are long and free. Let the breath explore the whole body, and if it finds any tension, letting it move beyond it, letting it dissolve, and letting everything flow freely. Just taking a few more breaths here. And then preparing yourself for that transition. So right knee hugging into the chest, and then coming across, and maybe it's dropping onto your block or bolster. If it feels okay, shoulders grounded, head and neck coming the other way. If this is just not a nice variation for you, you can of course bend both legs and come into your twist that way. Welcoming yourself to the space, each posture, being fully present there. Couple more full breaths here. And then unraveling. Maybe hugging both knees in. Taking a little sway and massage through the lower back. And then setting up that left side reclined tree. Any blocks or props that feel good. So you feel completely supported, able to let go, able to breathe freely. Couple more breaths here. Reclining tree pose. And then setting yourself up for that twist. Draw the knee in. Take any blocks you want to come with you. Making that journey. Head and neck is coming that other way if that feels good. Breathing fully. Last few minutes before we take that lovely Shavasana. Drinking in all that you need from the practice here. Then slowly, mindfully unraveling. Take any final postures or movement you need to feel evened out, open, ready, or to settle into your Shavasana. So adding any layers here that feel good, making sure you're cozy, warm. You can go with bolster underneath the knees if you like that for your Shavasana. I'm going to hunker down. Otherwise, a nice option is to take your feet to the outside edge of the mat and let your knees drop in to support each other. This gives a little relief to the lower back if it's feeling tight. Otherwise, extend the legs, the arms, the limbs, travel the shoulders down the back body. Take up the space you have. Palms open, receptive to the heavens. And just fluttering the awareness for a few more breaths. Every inhale drinking in the strength cultivated through your practice. Every exhale mentally saying to yourself, I let go. And then an awareness of the earth coming to meet you once again, fully supported by the floor. Nothing to do, nothing to achieve. And then letting your awareness fully drift for your bliss, for your Shavasana. Starting to welcome slightly deeper breath back into your physical body. Welcome a little bit of movement in the extremities, fingertips, toes. Oh, baby. Like me, welcoming a yawn if it's there for you, a sign of your body releasing tension. Take a full stretch, and you can draw the knees in, yogi's choice, if you prefer to stay on your back or rolling over to a comfortable side. Take a moment feeling fully cradled, supported, grateful for all this practice has to share with us. And then bring yourself up to a comfortable seat as we began, grounding down through all parts of your body, connected to the earth. Simultaneously grow tall to the crown of your head, welcoming the heart space to be open. Hope you enjoyed your practice, whether you joined for the whole thing or just skipped to the restorative. Hope it was what you needed. Roll through the shoulders, hands come to heart center, and dedicate the fruit of your labor to whichever higher power you believe. Ask them for loving thoughts, loving communication, love in our hearts. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing. I hope you enjoyed your weekly chill out, and I will see you again very soon for more.